While around this time of the year, there's a different Bosa that tends to be getting a lot of the headlines. I wanted to talk about Joey Bosa and a lot of what he does well. One of those things is the ability to stop the run despite being on the outside. As you see, that's where he is on the screen. It's kind of hard to tell because he's kind of getting blocked by a couple Cardinals, but that's where he is on the screen. Arizona's going to have their right guard and right tackle double team an interior lineman, and they're also going to have their center and left guard double team another interior lineman. They're then going to send their left guard up to block a linebacker, and it's going to be a run to the right side of the screen. They're also going to have Larry Fitzgerald move up to block a linebacker, meaning one of the key blocks on this play is going to be a Cardinals tight end trying to block Bosa. As you see, largely because of the double team, they're able to create a window to that middle of the field. However, Bosa is going to just try to get over to that side and clog up that hole. That's exactly what he does, and it turns what could have been a big run into no run at all. And that's not the only way he can beat you in the running game. Take this play for example. As you see on this play, once again, Arizona is going to use their left guard, center, right guard, and right tackle to double team both of the Chargers' interior linemen. They're then going to have their tight ends try to block the two Chargers who are on the edge. The goal of this play is to simply move Phylon to the right side of the screen, and then try to move Perryman to the left side of the screen. Then for the tight end in charge of blocking Bosa, he typically just wants to move Bosa to one side of the screen. While Bosa would probably naturally move to that right side of the screen, which would make that an easier block to make, if Bosa moves to the left side of the screen, that's totally okay as well, as the whole goal of this play is just to create a hole on that left side of the screen. However, look at what Bosa does here. He moves that tight end back and doesn't move over to either side of the screen. This means that there's absolutely no gap in the area, and there's really nothing David Johnson can do on this play. While being able to stop the run is obviously crucial, let's be honest, the most fun thing to watch is when they get to the quarterback. This play is a great example of how he was able to get pressure to the quarterback. As you see, there's 6 Chargers on the line. If you're the Cardinals, you know that there's a couple things the Chargers could be doing. They could just be blitzing and sending 6 men to rush Rosen, or they could have 1, 2, or even 3 of those guys drop back into coverage. So it's a great way to create confusion for this Arizona offensive line. This part's pretty simple really. The 2 Chargers to watch are Bosa and Ingram, who are lined up on the left side of the screen. If you're the Cardinals and you know that they are rushing Rosen, you'd want your right guard to move up to block Ingram and your right tackle to move up to block Bosa. However, they don't know if that's happening. And for example, if Bosa dropped back into coverage, then you'd want to double team Ingram on this play. As you see on this play, Cardinals right tackle Justin Evans is clearly ready to try to stop Ingram, as his feet are pointed in Ingram's direction. If he was going to try to stop Bosa, he'd really want his feet placement to be right around there. Typically, Evans would want to get his left hand on Bosa's right shoulder pad on this play. However, because he was aware of a potential double team, he ended up just getting his hand really close to Bosa's forearm. He'd also want to get his right hand on Bosa's left pec. However, he would want to do that with his hand completely extended. But because Bosa's already in his area, he isn't able to do it full extended and his hand's already bending. And by that point, Bosa's able to just run over him, get the Rosen, and get a sack. Of course, Bosa is really strong and really fast, but this play was a good example of showing how the Chargers use schemes to make things even easier on him. While using schemes and strategies to get Bosa through can certainly help, Bosa doesn't need those at all. As you see, he's currently lined up in the 9 technique, and what you typically do in the 9 technique is just run straight forward. You want to crash in, get around that tackle to the bottom side of the screen, and get to the quarterback for a sack. That's the whole goal of someone in that situation. As you see, Bosa's in trouble here. Pittsburgh's right tackle did a great job of moving out and to his right to get good positioning, and he has his hands exactly where you want your hands to be in this situation. However, there's one problem for Pittsburgh, and that's that Joey Bosa is really athletic. He has great footwork, and he's able to time that spin move perfectly. This was just a tremendous play by Bosa, and when he's healthy, he can make these plays consistently. The Chargers had a great season last year, and if they can remain relatively healthy, which granted has been a pretty big if these past couple of years, but if they could remain relatively healthy, there's absolutely no reason to think that this team can't have another great season next year.